All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another one of my interviews here on Drip Talk with Blake Roberts. Today, I have a very, very special guest with me. He goes back to the way back in WWWF, WWF, WCW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, NWA, where he's a former pro wrestler and road agent in the WWE till 2014. He is a future WWE Hall of Famer. He was been in tag teams with Rick Martel, Larry Zbyszko, Dean Ho, Haystacks Calhoun, Pat Patterson, and just much, much more. He's no other than the legend himself, Tony Garea. So we will get him on in here, and then we'll start on with the interview.
Hey there, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
Good.
Well, I thank
Just trying to figure how to put the volume up on my computer.
Oh, it might be on your...
Technology's got me beat.
Right. Oh, it might be on your keyboard.
Well, I see it. It's right here, but it won't move.
Oh, it's not going up.
Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay.
It'd be nice if it was a little louder.
Right.
It's got me beat.
Right. Technology nowadays.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, with all the AI
okay,
and stuff.
I got it somehow.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So how are you doing?
Not too bad. Down here in sunny Florida.
Nice. Seems like you travel.
80 degrees here.
Wow. I got snow where I'm at in Wisconsin here, so.
Yeah, you can keep it.
Yeah. Yeah, first day I think it snowed, so.
Okay.
All right. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, when did you start doing wrestling and what made you want to get into it?
Well, actually, I played rugby, and there were a couple of wrestlers in our club. And I was probably one of the early guys that worked out in a gym, which was a no-no for some reason back then. And it worked out for me. And they asked me, if I'd be interested in wrestling. So my first question was, how much money can I make? Right. And it was back in New Zealand, you got to understand it wasn't a full-time job. It was only a part-time. And they only had wrestling for a certain amount of the year. And then They had so many guys on a card, and then you got paid with whatever people come in. So, sometimes it was as less as like $12.
Oh, wow.
Other times, if you were
Mhm.
main event, you could make $50. But you
Right.
got to remember, people were working for 40 hours a week for $40 back then.
Mm.
That was in 1969. Oh my God. Well, that's a way back. Anyway,
Uh-huh.
I actually stepped back from wrestling and continued with my rugby career. That was no pay at all. And then I was asked if I'd like to go to Australia for 3 weeks for a massive $250. Well, I
Mm.
thought, oh my God, I got to grab that.
Of
So
course.
while I was there, um, I was asked if I'd like to stay on, for about 8 weeks. And he would pay me $250 a week. And I thought, oh my God, I got to grab this. And that started it. And then I went back home and I waited for him. Uh, the promoter was Jim Barnett at the time in Australia. He said he'd like to have me back, and I waited, and then he brought me back, and I stayed for 12 weeks. And
Wow.
that time, this was 1971. And then he asked me if I'd like to go to America and wrestle. He said, I think you'd do well over there. So I said, sure. So there was another local guy in Australia by the name of Johnny Gray. So we both came over and we came to Florida. And in Florida, there were two Australians, they and Ron Miller, that had been there for about a year, and they were having a blast. So they were able to point us in the right direction with, where to go, where to stay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I arrived here, I had $200 in my pocket and a round
Oh,
trip
wow.
ticket home. And Johnny had about the same. And that was the start of it. Florida, in Tampa.
Wow.
I had my first match in Orlando, Florida, at a sale yard with a group called the Infernos.
Mm.
And that was the first match.
All right. Yeah. How did the first match go? What was it like going into your first match? Were you nervous at all in the
No,
States?
I was a little apprehensive as to what I was going to do, or not to mess up. So I kind of left it to the Infernos. They had the experience, and I kind of just followed. And I got out of the ring, and Jack Briscoe, who became a close friend of mine, and this was the first time I'd met him, and he said, "Very good, guys. You guys done good." So
Wow, that's cool.
yeah, that was a plus. Yeah.
Yeah, getting advice from someone like that, that's pretty cool on your
Mm,
first match.
yeah. Yeah, Jack helped me a lot. Just with I traveled with him on Thursday. We went from Tampa to Jacksonville to do the show, and then we came back and we talked a lot. And things he told me, I put into my repertoire, and
Hmm.
and uh, and it helped definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I
Mhm.
heard that you guys had a good friendship. And do you still have a good friendship with him to this day?
Well, unfortunately, he passed away, and
Oh,
I
yes,
was
that's
in
correct.
New Zealand at the
Yeah.
time, and I was in
Yep.
Atlanta, and I said, I wonder if Jack's going to come. And whoever I said it to, he said, Jack passed away in March. I said, oh my God. So straight away, I called his brother Jerry, who I'm close friends with. And I said, Jerry, I didn't know. I just found out, Jack passed. I said, oh my God. He said, yeah. He said, Tony, I wondered what happened, because he didn't hear from me. Well, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm not calling people and say, is so-and-so dead yet?
Right.
But I know guys, that can't handle funerals. And there's so many in my era have passed,
Yeah, and it's sad.
But that's life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that you're still here telling stories. I mean, you're still doing great for.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I get up, I try to go to the gym every morning, and I change my workout around. And I went this morning for about an hour, and I include some cardio, but evidently not as much as I should be doing, because I'm about 40 pounds heavier than my ring weight. But, that was 40 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, you're still getting in the gym, so that's a plus, Still getting
I
active
think so,
and
yeah.
still doing all of that.
That's my happy hour in the morning, and there's a
Yep.
few guys around my age that I've met. So, we have a few laughs, tell a few jokes, and, then we get a little serious at times,
Mm-hmm.
And it's good. It's a friendship.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yep. What have you been up to now in your life since pro wrestling and since your time as an agent, which ended in 2014? What have you been up to thus far?
Well, when I quit the federation, or got fired, whatever you want to say, got laid off. I had some apartment houses with a couple of partners, and I chose to be the handyman, or to help the handyman that we had. And then I found out that he was just giving us a screw job. So I said, well, let me take over, I had a
Right.
few guys that could give me a hand, and if I can't do something, we'll call somebody in to do it. But I could do most things. So I spent a lot of my early retirement days painting apartments, and I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's I only worked about 6 hours a day, and then I got a couple of guys, part time, and that's what I did. And I was pretty proud of that, because I remember one time we had people move out in the weekend. I had the apartment painted and ready to go, and new tenants moved in the following weekend. So it took me about 4 days,
Wow.
where the handyman used to spend as much as 2 months to paint a 2-bedroom apartment.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. 4 days. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in New Zealand as a wrestling fan? Were you a fan growing up as a kid in Zealand?
No, not really. We didn't have it. It wasn't like over here. It wasn't on television, and I grew up out in the country, so a little bit isolated. We had a 20-acre fruit farm. We had apples, peaches, plums, grapefruit, feijoas, which is a lot of people won't know what a feijoa is, but I like them. And our job when we got home from school in the fruit season was to go down and bring the apples up to the shed, put them in the shed, then go and have dinner, then go back to the shed and grade the apples with my mother and father.
Right.
And the first time I seen wrestling was at the fair. We have a fair there once a year, and they had wrestlers there. And I said to my father, I said, I'd like to do that when I grow up. And he said, son, you have to be cut out for that life. You know? And these guys were only part-time too. They had their regular jobs, and they just wrestled, when they could, which might have been twice a month, at that time. So that was about my fanship, I guess, with wrestling. Although later on, when I played, when I was in my late teens and I was playing rugby, because I knew these guys and they used to wrestle, I used to go see them.
Really?
And then, of course, when I got into it, I got to meet pretty much everybody. And I think most everybody's gone now,
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to train with Wild Don Scott. What was it like getting to train with him? And is there anybody else who helped you get into the business?
Oh, it was basically Don. He was the guy that belonged to our club, and he asked me, if I'd be interested. And we used to train on we had a canvas that was put down on a basketball floor.
Oh, geez.
Hardwood floor. So we used to, going through the moves was all right. But then when it came, to taking a bump, we had to nurse each other along, because otherwise, we get picked up like a hip toss onto a hardwood floor.
Oh,
There's no way. There's no give, nothing. You just laugh. So that's the way I learned,
Mm-hmm.
And of course, in New Zealand at that time, there wasn't a lot of psychology in the match. And I learned that when I got to Australia. I learned a little bit. And then, of course, when I came here, I learned a whole lot about the psychology of the match.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably way different from Australia, New Zealand, and from the States training. I mean, from what I heard from how you trained with Don Scott, that's way different. It was probably more impactful.
Yeah, there was a lot of holds and counters. That's the way they did. A little bit after the English style. They done a whole bunch of holds and fancy maneuvers, and we didn't get too much into the fancy maneuvers, but
yeah,
we're definitely in and out of holds and counter holds and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Out of all the companies you've got to wrestle and work for, which one would you say was like your main favorite?
Oh, the WWF with Vince McMahon Sr.
Yeah.
Because I just I came in there and I just I didn't expect to be there. I didn't say, well, I'm going to New York sometime. Actually, Eddie Graham got me booked up there, and I didn't expect it to go as it did.
Right.
But I just did what they told me to do, and the best that I could,
Yeah.
And Vince Sr. was a great guy, his word was his bond.
Of course. Could you share some memories that you had with working with him? What was he like getting to work with?
Vince Sr.?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, he was good. I didn't talk to him a lot,
Mm-hmm.
It's just he came to talk to me if he had something to say. Like I remember he was going over the match with we were having with Fuji and Tanaka, and I think it was Haystacks and myself, And he came and he actually put the move on me that he wanted me to do. And he was stiff, the son of a bitch. Yeah. Yeah, he was a little stiff, but I couldn't say anything. I didn't want to say anything. Oh, ease up there, boss. He probably didn't even realize he was stiff because I
Yeah,
don't
probably
think he'd
not.
ever been in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Talking about being stiff, who do you think was the stiffest wrestler that you've gotten in the ring with?
well, I remember Lonnie Main and we had a match in the garden, and God, we remembered it for about 3 months. But the overall, I wouldn't say stiff, but snug was Greg the Hammer Valentine. But I enjoyed working with him for some reason. I don't know, maybe it was my rugby career, and some guys used to bitch about guys being stiff, and Sweet
Yeah.
Hansen was another, but he was just an awesome guy. He
Yeah.
was huge, and some guys used to bitch about guys being stiff, and I found it right, like Dr. D, David Schultz.
Yep.
I I enjoyed working with him too. The guys would say, "Oh, Jesus Christ, he knocks your head off." Didn't with me. I
Right.
was fine. Mm.
Yeah, it's the way they got brought up in the training, and I mean, there's some guys that can take stiff and or
Mm.
snug, and some wrestlers that just, you know.
Yeah, well, who was amazing was Randy Savage, Macho Man. You didn't even know he was there. He was
Yeah.
and I remember filling in for Brian Blair. He didn't make it to the show, and I worked with Jim Brunzell, and I worked with who were they? Oh, what's his name? God, Edie and Bill Edie
Oh, Bill Eadie, yeah.
when he had the mask on.
Oh, the Masked Superstar.
Yeah, but
Demolition.
then there was a team, right?
Yes.
Did he have them? Yeah. So I worked with that team with Brunzell, and I actually said I could work with you guys for the next 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
They were that soft in the ring that you could barely
yeah,
feel them.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dasso, Edie and Dasso, Bill Edie and Barry Dasso. Yeah,
Yes. Who later was as Demolition.
Demolition. Yeah, that was
Yes.
the name of it.
Yeah.
God Almighty, I must be getting that fatal disease.
Oh, jeez. What are your thoughts on the current WWE product now and how it's being ran, and about its partnership with TNA and everything that is going on with them today?
I'm not sure. I really can't answer that honestly because I don't watch it. I can't watch it because like they do this, they do that, they do this, that, and then back to that, and then a cartwheel over the top rope, and they're caught by three guys, and what happens? Nothing. They don't win the match. They don't get counted out. They don't lose the match. Nothing happens. It's a stunt.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I,
Way different than back in the day. This wrestling now, you know, like way different.
oh yeah, and that's the way they've educated the fans, I guess. But there's no storyline. But the best guys I seen out there that I enjoy watching are the Samoans.
Oh yeah.
They have the psychology. They have timing, everything. I guess it's being built into them.
Yes.
Hereditary.
Of course, yeah, the big legacy of the Samoan dynasty of
Yeah.
wrestling. And I heard that you had a big background with wrestling the Samoans. What are some memories of wrestling the Samoans?
Oh, I mean, every night was a night out. But I remember Alpha set me up for a headbutt, and he slammed me, and he came down and he hit me. It was hard, And
Oh,
I said
geez.
to him, I said, "Are you okay?" He hit me, and I asked him if he was okay. Yeah, but they were like the first match we had, you know,
Uh-huh.
was in Philadelphia, and I talked to them about the kind of match, Rick and I would like to have. I was like the spokesman, and they said, "Yeah, brother, yeah, yeah, yeah." And we came out after the match. I thought it went great, and they were very happy with it. And then we worked with them for about 18 months after that. So, and
Wow.
nobody got hurt.
That's good, yeah.
So it must have been good. I watched uh, I watched something the other day. Somebody mentioned it. Oh, somebody sent it to me actually. It was the Lumberjacks and me and Zbyszko, and it turned out not a bad match. I
Yeah.
didn't go, oh my God, what the hell was that? And then one of the guys, Harvey Whippleman, I talked to him once in a while, and he's sold on the match that Rick and I had with the Moondogs. He said, that is the best tag team match. The psychology, everything was there.
Yeah.
So that was nice of him. Mm.
Yeah, definitely getting that compliment from him. A great worker in the business.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I heard that you had some great matches with also the Moondogs, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, the first match was a little off, and I let them know, uh, professionally,
Of course.
And then the second match was like night and day, and we went from there. Yeah.
Yep. They stepped up their game after you put them in their place.
Well, I just told them, we need to make some changes, otherwise we're not going to do any good.
Of course. Yep.
And as Chief Jay Strongbow said, if you're a little stiff, he said, "Hey," he said, "they can't feel it out there." Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
For a couple matches in WCW, you went under the name Tony Garcia. What was the reasoning behind using that name for a couple matches that you did?
Well, I don't know. That was my name in New Zealand.
Mm.
I used Tony Garcia, to kind of, because we were the only Gareas in New Zealand. So
Yeah.
I didn't know where it was going to go. So I thought I'll change my name. And I used to go in places and say, "What's your name?" Tony Garea. And they say Garcia. I say no, so I'd have to
Mhm.
correct them. So then I thought, well, let me use Garcia. But that was only in New Zealand, and Australia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. So
What
that's
was
the story there.
nice? Yeah,
And
and then you changed.
my brother wrestled there, and he wrestled as Johnny Garcia too.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually just
Mm.
gonna mention him.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, what was he like growing up with somebody like that, and him also getting into the wrestling business? What is he
Mm.
up to?
Yeah, he got into it, and he was going to try and come over here, and I told him all the pros and cons of it. Coming here,
Yeah.
it was a big move for him, and he decided not to. And he had a successful swimming pool business over there.
Ah,
Mm. That's
interesting.
what I tell a lot of people, I'm telling my grandsons now, they should learn a trade. Forget
Oh, yeah.
about college, because the tradesmen, like the average electrician, I think is 58 years old. So in 10 years, you know, the majority of the electricians are going to be gone. You won't be able to get an electrician.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. But his very good friend for over 60 years, him, my brother, and Bill, they finished high school at 15, 2 years of high school, and they
Wow.
both done very, very well. Bill had the largest concrete cutting business in New Zealand.
Hmm.
He done very well. And I see them. I go to New Zealand every year. That's part of my retirement.
Right.
Because I have my brother and sister there, and I have cousins. And you know, unfortunately, a lot of my friends have passed away, so I don't get to see them. But I get to see, you know, my brother, and I stop by and see Bill, bust his chops, because I've known him as long as my brother, but
Oh,
they
yeah.
were the same age. So they hung out together. And if you saw them as late in their late teens, you think these two guys aren't going anywhere. And they've been very, very successful.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like it.
you can't judge a book by its cover.
Yep. Definitely.
Mm.
I wish I could have graduated at 15.
Well, that was a high school you could. That was 2 years of high school.
Wow. Yeah.
If you stayed another year, you'd get your what they call a school certificate. And if you went another year, then you would have to go for your university entrance. But you
Hmm.
had to get your a school certificate first. And then if you got your university entrance, they called it a university there, you went to college.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that you never got to share the ring with that you wished you could have in your wrestling career?
Yes, I wish I could have wrestled Jack Briscoe one time, at least, and Pat Patterson. Pat Patterson was my partner when I was in California, a wrestling partner,
Yeah.
and and he was a wealth of knowledge, because he was the booker up there with Vince, you know. And Pat was the guy, as good as he was coming up with ideas for finishes and stuff like this. I remember one year we had we were at a pay-per-view,
Right.
and he came to me. He said, "Tony, can I talk to you a minute?" I said, "Sure." So he explained the situation that he had. He was trying to put something together, you know, and I was kind of flattered that he asked me. So I said, "Well, you need this, so you need to get this guy here." So I said, "Well, what if, you know," and I went through a scenario. He said, "Very good." And he built on that. But I gave it to him, you know.
You're right.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty good that he would ask me, you know, my idea.
Yeah, definitely. That's
Mm.
really cool that he got to do that.
Mm.
He was great in the business too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And he's gone too.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, you two teamed up together. What are some memories of just like you two as a team against other teams? What are some memories getting to team with him in the ring and
Mm.
work with him?
Well, that goes back to 1976 in San Francisco. So, you know, it's one time in Sacramento, California, we wrestled Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito for an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, oh, well, yeah, an hour and 15, okay, that's fine. Oh, the next day I woke up, boy, my body was
Oh,
in another world. Yeah.
I bet.
Mm. Yeah, that was a tough one.
Wow, I can't believe that because, well, I can believe it, but it's like crazy to think that like you can go that long, and just stay like you would have to have a lot of stamina and a lot of like ability to do all that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Ric Flair used to do 1 hours,
Yep.
Jack Briscoe, those NWA champions, because they'd come into a town where you had your superstar,
Yeah.
and you didn't want to beat him, so you went 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
I I wrestled Baron von Raschke for 45 minutes in Poughkeepsie, New York. Yeah, that was quite a match. It wasn't taped. It should have been taped.
Oh yeah. Was it really good? Did it go well?
Oh yeah, it went well. And then I wrestled him again for 20 minutes down in Baltimore, Maryland, and that went well. Took a little bit to get started,
Mm-hmm.
but once we got it, it was there.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, you guys got into it and then just kept it going and rolling from there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bump into him once in a while. Great guy.
Yeah.
Good sense of humor.
Yeah, it's great to see that he's still around and doing great as well and doing stuff like going to conventions and whatnot and meeting
Yeah.
fans.
I usually go down to Waterloo once a year.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, I'm looking at the Hall of Fame plaque they gave me. That Jerry Briscoe asked me if I'd be interested in going in. So that's the George Tragus Luther's Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Yeah, and I go down there every year. It's a nice little get together. Get to see some old timers.
Mm-hmm. A lot of
I'm
legends.
down there, the oldest of the old timer.
Yeah. I've been wanting to go to that. I've been interested in maybe like attending one year or something. And it seems pretty cool and interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They have about let me see, starts Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we go home Sunday.
Mm.
And they have wrestling matches there. One night they have a dinner another night, and then they have this Hall of Fame award ceremony, the same night as the dinner, which is pretty good. There's wrestlers, boxers, UFC fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Talking to UFC, have you seen The Smashing Machine?
Yes.
The movie, yeah. I watched it yesterday. I kind
Oh,
of
really?
enjoyed it. Yeah. And Mark Coleman, there was a character playing Mark Coleman. I was with Mark Coleman a couple of weeks back up in New Jersey. Quite a guy.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think he was at WrestleCon in Las Vegas, I think,
Mm.
if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I think he was there doing like the meet and greets.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. That's cool that you got to see him.
Mm.
What was the move from New Zealand to America like, and what were some difficulties and struggles, and just, and what are like some things that were easy as well?
Mm. Well, things. It was the flight over. I was not a flyer, and it was a long flight. We stopped in Hawaii. We spent one night there. This is Johnny Gray and myself, and then we flew to L.A. And L.A. was just fogged in, you might say. I never
Yeah.
seen anything like it. I looked out my hotel window and I could barely see the hotel next to us
Wow.
at the airport. And then we flew to Tampa, and it was okay. We need a room, so Larry and Ron were there, and they pointed us to a hotel, and they put up on a sign outside, "Welcome to Tampa, Tony and John," which I thought was kind of nice. And we didn't have a
Yeah.
car, so that was a bit of a problem. So we were about a mile from the sportatorium where everybody met, to go.
Right.
And then finally buying a car. There was a couple of cars that were beautiful. There was a 66 Thunderbird and I think a 64 Chevy Impala Super Sports. And they wanted like $600 for them. And we
Oh,
didn't
wow.
have that money. We had to find a car pretty quick. So I ended up buying a 65 Mustang,
Mm.
6-cylinder, no air conditioning.
Ooh.
Mm.
That must have
So,
been tough.
oh, well, you got to do what you got to do. So you don't think
Yeah.
it's tough. You say, oh, this is what we got. But I remember taking Bobo Brazil from Tampa, I think, to Miami to wrestle. And we just wound the windows down,
Yeah.
and 70 mile an hour pretty much all the way.
Yeah, that'll
And
get
that
good
was it.
airflow.
Yeah, that was it. And then I drove. I got it all tuned up and everything ready to go up to Philadelphia, and I drove up. I drove up to Charlotte the first day, and I stayed there, and then I made it to Philadelphia. But when in Philadelphia, I didn't know how to get downtown, so I got off at the first exit over the Waltman Bridge,
Mm-hmm.
Walt Whitman Bridge, and I didn't know where the hell I was. Anyway, somehow I finally found the hotel. I think it was a Quality Inn, and that was a little bit nerve wracking, like
Yeah.
where the hell am I going to end up?
Yeah, you're getting lost in a city that you've never been in, and just
Yeah,
driving around trying to find your way. And back
yeah.
then, they didn't have like the on the phone maps or anything. So,
We didn't even have a cell phone.
right.
That was in 72. Yeah.
Wow.
And you didn't have GPS, you just had a map.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. So that was there.
Mm-hmm. You so you started your career in New Zealand. What were
I lost you. Can you hear me? I have to put on my readers. Lost them. I don't know. It went dead.
Oh, he wrote to me and said, dang it. His power just went out.
Oh, that's why.
No worries. He's panicking.
Ugh. Look at you, boob.
He goes, I feel horrible.
No worries.
That's what I told him. Because they're having that storm up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I don't know when it'll come back on. I said, just let us know if it comes back on in the next half hour.
Next half hour?
Half hour. I'm gonna do my hair now. You guys, because we can tell him, I can write to him and say, we'll just do a finish up, a wrap up in case his power goes out again.
Been almost an hour.
Maybe there was a bad accident in your house or something. Did he say it was snowing there?
Yeah.
Yeah, Minneapolis was so bad. Where is he at?
I don't know.
do you think that kid is?
What?
He just said his business, they must have a back shop in his company, his dad's company or something.
Yeah.
He said even that's out. That is okay. Okay, I don't want to make you guys wait any longer. Again, I'm very sorry. Horrible timing for this. I'll be in touch for after Thanksgiving. We can try to get it done another time.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone. I'm very, very sorry about this. I'm on my phone right now, making this announcement that we have a snowstorm right now currently, and my power went out. And I didn't think it was this bad, but I'm very, very sorry about this. And I will be back in touch with Tony about finishing it up another time. Again, I'm very sorry, and but I will be in touch with them to get it done sometime after Thanksgiving in December. So yeah, I just don't know how much longer this power outage will be, but I just wanted to let everybody know, and that we will be rescheduling this for another time. An unfortunate time that this happened, but yeah, thank you.